first few providers in the first few counties that can pull the trigger and make this stuff happen, they're gonna be the leaders. And I really think you guys have a great team here and can be the leaders in the state of Ohio and perhaps the country, and say this is what we did and this is how we did it. There's a lot of talented people helping the clients in Shelby and Champaign.
I guess I just kind of want to know, I know what you guys are doing in the community first. So S&H, what's their staff doing exactly? I mean, are you guys the ones that are out looking for the jobs, or is S&H have somebody looking for the jobs?
We're looking for jobs in community first. And Susan, I'll let you talk about what's going on at S&H. I think you shared a little bit about it last meeting. But.
Yeah, we're working with Community First in terms of identifying people that want to go into community employment, referring them to Krista's department to, do discovery, find out what kind of jobs they want to do. And we're kind of supporting on the back end. What we're doing at S&H is transforming the way we provide services to help people begin to identify employment that they're interested in. We've had a long-standing relationship with Roltec doing muffler clamps, but there aren't a lot of jobs out in the community where you can do muffler clamps. And and that's not really a viable work skill or work opportunity. So we're transforming the program to give people opportunities to explore things that are available in the community. We're looking at art studio. We've got a lot of people that have a very strong interest in art and that are artists, and we've got some amazing artists. We're going to look at a horticulture area because you've got some farming in this area. You've got some greenhouses and things like that. We're looking at a couple of areas that we're calling like enrichment areas or exploring our world that are just going to give people an opportunity to look at a variety of different things that would hopefully lead towards identifying an employment goal that's different than what they've been doing every single day. We don't know what people really want to do, so we're going to do just a lot of exposure. And along with that will be community integration, where people will be going out into the community more, going out to visit employment sites, doing tours of local businesses and that type of thing. And also having people come in, volunteers, people visiting, just exposing folks to community. And that's kind of the baby step, with the ultimate goal being what Jake's talking about, getting people involved more and more every single day in the community.
Because Brady's my son, he's the one you met today, so
Yeah.
he's been successful.
He's our poster child, right?
And then Matt works the weekend too. He's, I think, happy up there. So, but then you have Ryan, and I know you did the tour to Peerless last week.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Ryan was going to go at the last minute. He decided not to go. So, I know you encourage them to go, whatever. But if he just keeps saying no, no, no to all this, then what happens?
I think we haven't identified it's incumbent upon us to find the right thing. I think no, no, no tells us a lot, but that's not what I'm interested in. And that would be as useful as somebody that chooses to go.
Did they try to explain to them what Peerless was or what they did there before they went? I mean,
yeah, I think
because I didn't have a clue, because I thought I wanted to go, but it's like I didn't know anything about it myself, so I couldn't really tell him anything.
Yeah, I unfortunately was not there last week. I was in Washington, D.C. at a conference, so I don't know exactly what was said. I would make the assumption from, Cheryl having planned it, that is typically what she does is, explain what they're going to be going to see and, what they do at Peerless. She does a lot of prep with people before they go out, so.
So are the clients seeing the change? I mean,
Not yet. The whole thing is, we're going to launch it, we're looking at the first or second week of October. They're starting to see the building transform, all the different spaces. Things have been moved. The whole back cab area is now the art studio. The horticulture things have been painted, things have been moved, it's been cleaned up. There's a lot of physical movement which I think, helps people to prepare for it. And they're going to see the big change at the beginning of October. And then they'll have an opportunity to choose from a variety of things throughout the day, throughout the building. Everybody will.
Just to add on that, cultural changes or process changes or procedural changes are difficult for everybody from an employment standpoint. It's going to be an even bigger shift for our clients, right? I've done the same thing every day for however many years for each one of those folks. And there'll be that situation, as Susan said, where you can explain to somebody, no, I don't want to go. Or, yeah, I do want to go, but then the day arrives and I don't want to go do it now. I agree with Susan that tells a story just like them going. Well, let's not go down that road this next time. Let's find something different. That process of finding something different will take time. It's going to take time for the clients, I believe, to understand that there might be other options out there. Because to this point in time, for better or for worse, it's been go to S&H or go to whatever provider, and that's great. But we're trying to change that, right? So that will take time for them to get used to as well. It will take time for them to get used to the fact that their expectations are raised. You can't call in every day or twice a week at a community-based job and keep your job. You can't. You can at S&H. You can go back tomorrow and it's okay. You can miss a week for no reason, and it's okay because, we're doing our thing. But if you want a community-based job, those are the standards that you need to hit, and they'll get there. Everyone will get there, but it's going to be trials and tribulations for some folks. Some people will knock it right out of the park right away, and that's to be celebrated. And I think that creates a lot of momentum, not only for that person, but for their peers, for the community at large, for the business community. Celebrate those things, whether it be in the news or press releases or newsletters or what have you. Because I think that generates momentum across the board. I've seen it generate momentum across the board. When we did our transformation, it was easier for us. We were a new company. We came in with new rules, new expectations. This is the way it's going to go, everyone. You had other choices, but if you wanted to work with us, these were our expectations. It's easy when it's clean. This is not clean. There's going to be some starts and stops as we go forward here. But enough talent to solve all those problems and more, and really push folks towards that. I think it will work out really well.
Yeah, you're going to see some changes in our employment too, because we're paying all of our jobs except for roll tech, and that I can go into many reasons why we can't, but they'll all be paid at minimum wage or higher.
Ryan's check went up.
Yeah.
It's
It's like, whoa, what happened? Yeah, because he worked a lot of the minimum wage jobs. And it's our goal to transform them all to minimum wage. And when we do that, our expectation for attendance and, not spending 20 minutes in the restroom and not taking a break every 5 minutes and coming in late and not coming in is going to change, because they'll be part of a work crew that has an expectation of getting a job done. And we think our actual work crew will narrow some. There'll be less people perhaps that have that want to work at that level. But those are the people that are going to identify as going from us immediately to Krista.
Raleigh has a lot of health issues, and I'm at the point now I don't want to take off to go to the doctor. So how's it going to work when you go in the community?
Well, health issues are something that some of our clients deal with without question. We have a lot of clients who work part-time with health issues. We ask scheduling, matching schedules with what particular doctors need. I have one client who needs to go for therapies 2 days a week. Okay, we negotiated that with the particular business ahead of time, that for this particular young lady, Tuesdays and Thursdays, she needs to be available for her medical needs, because that's what's most important, obviously. But she can work Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever the case may be. Employers are willing to negotiate those things. And as the momentum builds, I believe they'll be more willing. And as they get more exposed, they'll be more willing to understand and then be understanding.
Well, I just try to make it in the afternoon, if there's someone who just gotta go when they want you to go. And then Robbie's saying, I have to go to work. No, medical comes first.
Yeah, and I think there's a way to solve that problem. I can't give you an exact answer right now, but I bet you too, there's probably a business out there, if the right match worked, that would probably be understanding of that. You earn sick and leave time. Okay, I have a doctor's appointment at 2. Well, okay, maybe you can start your shift a couple hours earlier. Maybe you can come back after the doctor's appointment if you're feeling up to it. Maybe you use your leave time and take that day off. All those things can be broached at the beginning of the job. And that's you don't want to surprise an employer with any of this stuff, obviously. But
You can't surprise Robbie, you have to repeat.
yeah, not Robbie, but his potential employer. We don't want to surprise him with Robbie might have some medical needs. Negotiate that stuff up front and come up with a legitimate plan that would work for both Robbie and the business. There's a match out there that exists. Can it happen tomorrow? If we get really lucky. But if we grind on it, it will work. I had a guy who had some medical needs, but all he wanted to do was work for Jiffy Lube. That's it. There was one Jiffy Lube in the city that he lived in. It took him 278 days to find a job. We missed every major metric that we have by a mile to find somebody a job. But he got that job at Jiffy Lube, and he got the job the way he wanted it at Jiffy Lube, with part-time hours, his schedule. He said no to him twice, and we really negotiated with them. And we said, we have to have it this way for him. And eventually, basically just by dogged persistence, they finally said, yes, let's give it a shot. But he was really good at changing money. It was amazing.
But SNH become privatized yet, or are they still part of the DD board?
That's a process that will take quite a bit of time, so they're still part of the DD board.
Do you see them, like right now, we have holidays off and stuff because of who we are. Do you see them being more like a factory type and not getting the?
More like private business, yes. I would think so. We're in the process of forming a transition committee that will have 2 members from the SNH board and a couple members from the Developmental Disabilities board, as well as some staff for both programs. Candace, Susan, myself, Liz, our business manager, to put together a plan as to what that will look like moving forward. And once we have that plan, then we can communicate it. But that's where we are in the planning process right now. Does anyone have other questions for Jake, or do you have any questions in general, or anything else that you want to talk about? We have used these meetings for whatever is on your minds, and we can still do that.
If not, I really appreciate your time. If you have questions, I know that both Susan and Laura are willing to talk. If you want to talk to me, I'm going to leave my contact information with them. I'm more than happy to talk on the telephone. Like I said, I've dealt a lot with folks in unique challenges. I won't have a solution for sure, but I can help brainstorm solutions. I enjoy that process anyway, so if anybody ever wants to try to brainstorm a solution with me, I'm more than happy to help for that particular individual. Otherwise, it's a beautiful evening.
It is beautiful.
You guys should know.
The next meeting that we have is not scheduled yet. It will probably be during the afternoon, simply because we've only had evening meetings so far, and I'm sure there are some family members that will be available during the day and not readily available in the evening. And then after that, depending on just how things are going, we may take a little break from the holidays and cold weather and start back up again. But in the meantime,